Could Nick Chubb and the Chicago Bears been narrowing in on a deal? One Cleveland radio hostess thinks so. So we're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize. More importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And there's more and more that are picking up rumors that Nick Chubb could be on his way to the Chicago Bears, that he could be nearing a deal with the Chicago Bears. And this is something that a lot of people kind of wondered and expected, and we're asking questions about. This time it comes from 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland, and they asked the question, are we ready to say goodbye to Nick Chubb? Saying, I heard it's kind of getting close to another team. It happens to be in the NFC North, which is leading to a lot of speculation that that NFC North team could be the Chicago Bears. I think when you look at the NFC North teams, the Bears make the most sense there. So it's already kind of, falling into that, with the Bears deciding not to address running back until the 7th round of the draft due to circumstances, right? That is all kind of pointed now towards that the Bears could be the team that Nick Chubb is going to come to. Now, I have my own thoughts in regards to Nick Chubb coming to the Chicago Bears. I understand it. I think the Bears, Ryan Poles has taken chances and shots on veterans before, right? With injuries, that is something that he has done before. And because of that, if he does take a shot at Chubb, who reportedly is 100% healthy, right? I think that's the thing that you have to really talk about the most here, is that it's reported that he is going to have a clean bill of health. He's going to be fully ready to go by training camp, that he's going to be locked in and ready to go. And if that's going to be the case, all right, for a 1, maybe 2-year deal, he's 29 years old. I could see the Chicago Bears taking a chance on Nick Chubb while they figure out their long-term situation with it. Now, the question is how much do they really not trust in DeAndre Swift, which is the question here, right? In my mind, you're either bringing in a running back to complement DeAndre Swift, or one that is clearly heads and shoulders above DeAndre Swift. Is that still Nick Chubb at this point in time? Like the last season that Nick Chubb was fully healthy, he was still a monster. Make no mistake about it, right? That goes all the way back to 2022, where he had 1,500 yards from scrimmage. He had 12 touchdowns in that time as well. He also had 239 yards receiving that year, 1 touchdown there. Only 1 fumble. That fumble was lost, but that's all the way back in 2022, right? You got to ask yourself, how much doubt do the Chicago Bears have after their revamped offensive line with Roschon and DeAndre Swift? And maybe it's just adding reinforcements. Maybe it's just making sure you have a well-rounded running back room. And we'll see what happens there. But it's very going to be very, very interesting to watch, because if Nick Chubb is the guy that the Chicago Bears bring in here to be their running back, how does the rest of that backfield work, right? What are they? And again, that's up to the coaching staff to figure out. I'm not here to throw a bunch of crap on anybody or anything like that, but it's just, I just wonder, okay, how is that going to look now? What is the running back balance and things look at when it comes down to that? But we'll see. I think that, Nick Chubb is definitely a guy, right? J.K. Dobbins is still a guy that the Bears could very well look at as well when it comes down to it. If they just want to add some depth to that running back room, those are other guys that the Bears could possibly take a look at. But again, Nick Chubb has kind of been the guy that's been talked about before, and we'll see. Hogan says, is this real? A lot of people are talking about it. Like I said, the radio station in Cleveland talked about it. At this point, I believe, let's see, who was the writer that also picked it up on the Chicago side? But we don't know for sure. So, no, it's not 100% certain yet. We haven't gotten it announced yet. If we do, I don't think it's going to be announced yet until, we won't hear it until it's official. We won't hear anything until it's official. So we'll see what happens when it comes down to that. Bears Junkie says, I'd rather ride with the guys we have and save money towards extending Joe. Listen, I'm not necessarily against you on that one, but I think, the Bears still have, they can cut Ryan Bates, save money. They can cut Dominique Robinson, save money. I think if you cut those two guys, you're looking at about $10 to $11 million created in cap space. So the Bears still have that flexibility. And that's always what Ryan Poles tries to maintain, is that flexibility to do shit like this, right? So like I said, we've seen it happen before. We've seen Ryan Poles wait to close to training camp, even maybe a week into training camp, and then go and add a veteran on a prove it deal, basically. And that's what I would expect this would be. Now, at 29 years old, maybe Chubb is looking for a few extra years, but this could be the running back version of Keenan Allen acquisition, where we're not trading for him, we're signing him, but it could be similar to that. You come in, you see what you can bring. Maybe if you have a great season, you're part of the future. If not, no biggie there, right? It could be a calculated risk, right? I saw something earlier this morning on Nick Chubb. I actually like him. Listen, I like him too if you can guarantee he's going to stay healthy. Like, real talk. If you could, if we knew that, and again, that's why I focus so much on the fact that he has been given a clean bill of health. So, maybe that can point towards that. If we knew for sure he was going to be healthy, I'd be all for it. I'd be all for it. But we'll see what happens there. This would be an awesome signing. Listen, we'll see. We'll see. Chubb, if somehow can stay healthy, would be, yes, for sure. He would be running back one if he can stay healthy. There's no question about that. He would be running back one wholeheartedly, right? The only way he would not be running back one is if the health is in more question than what's been alluded to. I'm not saying that that's the case, right? I'm not saying that that's what we've heard, but I'm just saying that I think that's the only way he would not walk in and be running back one, is if the health isn't quite 100% locked in. But you got to look at it. DeAndre Swift, Ian Willer, Roshan Johnson, Travis Homer. That's your running back room right now. That's it. That's your running back room. Those four guys are your running back room. Adding Nick Chubb to that, even at 29 years old, it helps. It helps. Honestly, I'm 50-50 on the Nick Chubb signing. If he's healthy, then he's an asset. But but on the other hand, I'm not giving him more than 1.1 million. I will give Kyle Monangai, Ian Willer, and Roshan a chance. Listen, I can understand. I think there are going to be a lot of people that agree with you on that one. A lot of people that will agree with you on that one. Bill says only if the contract makes sense, and I do think I don't think Ryan Poles is going to sign him to a ridiculous contract. So it would be the type of deal that just basically be the Chicago Bears taking a chance on somebody and seeing how it works out at that point, right? So, we'll see. Again, I'm in no way saying that this is a for sure thing. I'm not in no way saying that this is something everybody should be on board with. I will give the Bears credit for if they do that, if that's what happens, if they go out and if they do it and they're aggressive about trying to find some type of patchwork for that running back room. So we'll see. Steve-O, why ain't you in here? You at work? I've seen 3 straight major injuries. I'm straight. And I can't blame you on that one either. Can't blame you on that one, bro. At all. Can't blame you on that. Haize, appreciate you and the whole CBC crew with the live content. Man, listen, we do this because we love it, bro. And I'll say you guys see my face probably more than anybody else's, but please don't ever let that make you think that we aren't working as a team behind the scenes. I work from home. Right? I have the studio in my basement, so you see me a little bit more, but best believe Steve-O, Kev, C-Dub, Bobby, they all have a place in making this channel better, and I want to make sure that everybody understands and knows that. You may see me more often, but that don't mean everybody ain't behind the scenes doing work. We're all doing work to try to make this channel the best that we can, and I'm blessed to have the squad that I have, bro. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do this channel. That's just 100% sure. Fact, I wouldn't be able to do this channel. So y'all make sure y'all always give love to Steve-O, Bobby, C-Dub, Kev, all those brothers. Ben doesn't trust Swift in this offense. Swift wants to jump outside the tackles. Chubb, if healthy, number one, Chubb runs between the tackles. Great point there, James. Great point. No notes. Great point. Is Chubb any good as a pass catcher? Not saying he has to be elite, just enough to catch a check down maybe once a game. Yes, he can do that. If that's what you're talking about as a check down, absolutely. And here's the thing. I wanted to see this under a Shane Waldron offense, and we didn't. I do think under a Ben Johnson and Declan Doyle offense, you could. I would love to see in some downs Roshan line up as the fullback with either Swift or Chubb if he signed as the halfback. Or if you really want to get even more creative, you can have Chubb or Swift as your running back. And there's some times where you can use Colston Loveland as your fullback. And imagine what that does to a defense, right? Let's just put this in perspective. Imagine you are in the I formation, for example, and we know that that we're going to be under center a little bit more, so there's a nice chance of that. Imagine if you are in a third and short situation, right? To where you can either run or you can pass. You have Caleb Williams, of course, as your quarterback. You have Swift or Chubb as your halfback. You got Roshan or Colston Loveland. Hell, maybe even Cole Kmet as your halfback. But let's say Colston Loveland as your fullback in this one. You got Cole Kmet at tight end, and you got our wide receivers, as well as you got Burden out there. You don't know, how do you game plan for that? What do you do to game plan for that? Because you can go pass, you can go run, you can go down on the sidelines, you can go across the middle, you can do a lot, you can go play action, and you got to play that. That is the type of creativity that you need to see. You don't want to use that heavily. I'm just saying in specialized situations to do that. I'm not saying all the time, but in specialized situations, you can really do that. You can really do that, and that could be something of how you really keep defenses on their toes. Maybe if Chubb gets out of the Browns organization, who knows? Maybe he stays healthy. That usually happens with people. I mean, you talk about a toxic organization. You're not wrong, my boy. Swift needs to be retained as well. Hope it's not. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's either or. I don't think it's DK, because I'm not calling you by what your username says. But I don't think that it's either or. I think at this point it's an additive, right? You're adding that to what you already have in your room to make it more versatile. I think that's what you're doing there. Hey, let's hope they use Loveland as a fullback, because I see some center at fullback. I'm breaking something this season. Listen, if I see Doug Kramer at fullback this year, I'm going to be pissed the fuck off, yo. Pissed the fuck off. I'm a fan of putting the backup T in at fullback in certain. Exactly. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying every down. I'm not saying every time you go into the I formation. I'm just saying that it is an extra additive that you can do in there that adds a bunch of versatility for you. So we don't need Chubb. Let the young guys work. No, see, that's the thing, Jay Capone. And let me say this. I'm not saying you're wrong for how you feel, but if we're going off what this coaching staff has told us, they're trying to win now. So development, like if you can develop while you're winning, great. But I don't think that this is something where they're focused as heavily on just development. This is a football team. Ben Johnson said he wants to win now. Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson through this draft and this whole process have seen that they are lock and step together. So it seems like they are really trying to move forward with trying to win now. So I don't think that it's that. I could be wrong. I'll raise you one, Haize. What if you put DJ Moore in the backfield and put Loveland out on wide with Cole tight end and Rojo at fullback? Now you defend that play. Well, see, that's the thing. I think you still want, especially DeAndre Swift and how dangerous he is, you're going to want one of him Chubb out there. But listen, I mean, who's to say you can't do that either? You definitely could do that. Kramer is a decent fullback as long as he's not getting the ball. Well, yeah, I get in clear blocking situations, yes. I think what we're talking about here, though, is to add and put the defense on its heels to where it has to prepare for either, right? So I agree with you. Great point there. If you're talking about clear running downs, where because there was a time period last year before Roshan got hurt to where on plays where Roshan was the halfback and Doug Kramer was the fullback, I think it was specifically on goal line situations, they never had a negative play together. Now that ended up changing, so I can see where you're coming from with that one. I like the competitive environment that Ben Johnson is creating. 100% agree with you there, Kenny. 100% agree with you. I believe Chubb can help Roshan because their game is similar. I mean, Roshan's a lot bigger than Chubb. But I mean, hey, if that helps Roshan kind of find his angle and find his rhythm, I'm not mad at that either. Can hear you high. Did you not see the big boy fumble the goal line and that made us laughing stock? Well, he said it specifically if he's not getting the ball, Josh. He said if he's not getting the ball, my boy. When are we going to sign Chubb? I mean, here's the thing. If we're going to sign Chubb, if it does happen, you probably hear it by the end of the week. I would think that you're probably going to hear it because if I'm not mistaken, the next mini camp is it this week or next week? So you probably hear it soon. Might as well take a flyer on Chubb. If he, like the old Chubb, the offense going to be held to deal. I'm 100% factual there with you, bro. If he is even 90% of the old Nick Chubb, that takes the offense to whole different heights. If that's what he's going to be. So we shall see. Chubb and Monangai would be a crazy backfield. Well, listen, I don't think Monangai is going to really. We got to make sure he's going to make the roster first. He could be a practice squad player in that first year. We'll see. I'm not going to say no. I've learned to not put a cap on anybody. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that's on me. I'm very sleep deprived. Didn't read that correct. Hey, bro, it's happened to me before. So it's literally, it's happened to all of us, bro. Like, it is what it is, man. How long? I think it's total, like, we were live for like 13 hours over the course of the draft process this weekend. That's not even counting. Keep in mind, we were going live on draft days and still dropping daily episodes and then dropping episodes after each day, recapping the day in the draft. So listen, we've had ourselves a weekend, I should say. Chubb and Roshan is the same size. Left myself, Chubb is a better player. Is he? I thought Roshan was bigger than Chubb. Hold on, let me make sure I'm not tripping. I could very well be tripping. I thought Roshan was a little bit bigger, but maybe I could absolutely be tripping on that one. Yeah, no, Roshan Johnson is 20 pounds heavier and 2 inches taller than Nick Chubb, my boy. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, I thought so. I'm like, I'm crazy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not I'm not that crazy, right? Oh, he's not 20 pounds. He's 5 pounds heavier. But yeah. The sign is crazy because I nearly predicted this. I mean, you weren't the only one. Like, and I don't say that to rain on your parade. Like, all the ones that predicted this, hats off to you guys if this ends up happening. I just didn't think the Bears would take a flyer on Chubb, mainly because of the running backs that I thought they could get in the draft. They ended up not getting any of those guys. So, there you go. Haize, has any other Bears team had you this excited about an upcoming? Oh, bro, I'm a Bears fan through and through. I get excited every offseason. That's why I said I've had to, in being in this job, the thing that it's made me do as a fan is separate my excitement from analysis, right? So, like, I get stupid excited every offseason. This is because I'm that much of a Bears fan. Like, I've been a Bears fan my whole entire life, right? So I get excited every season. But this is the first offseason in a while where I feel like we have so much of the personnel that we need. So, Haize, what about Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet? Charlotte's probably going to shop either one of them. We'll see. We'll see. Chubb, he hasn't been listed as 227 for a while there, my boy. Like, if you're looking at ESPN doesn't update their weight and height ever. Like, after you get your initial measurements, they're not. If you go on the NFL OMG site, which is a media site, he's listed as 220. So, but that could be wrong too. That hasn't been updated since the end of last season. But I'm more excited about Zah Frazier, 6'3", 186 pound, and runs a 4.340. Yeah, but I mean, all that's great, right? But like, you got to be able to read coverages as a corner and a defensive back. The thing that about Zah Frazier that makes me excited is that he can play just about every defensive back position, and that's a weapon under Dennis Allen that could be very, 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 very exciting there. Haize, I'm slightly worried that I feel like Ben just looked at a lot of players and said that guy reminds me of this guy. And the Lions, maybe I'm overdoing it, but I'm watching Monangai. I'm seeing Monty. I mean, like, there's prototypes of running backs, right? There's a lot of different style of running backs, and in that you can look at, like, you can make probably about 4 different types of running backs, and usually they fit in that 3 or 4 categories, right? And maybe he is, and that's part of having a system. You kind of typically look at guys that have like similar skill sets, right? I'm not going to hold that against them. It's just, can they be successful, right? Can't wait to see Ben do with all these weapons. He's going to use them all. Just how he going to use them is exciting to think about. We'll see. We shall see. If it's true, then we are the front runner in the Chubb sweepstakes. It just shows how quick and serious Poles is this time when it comes to addressing the needs. And let me ask you this, right? This would be a great question to ask here. If the Bears do sign Nick Chubb, how much better would that make you feel about the Bears not drafting a running back? Right? I think that's a fair question, right? How much would that make you feel? How much more confident would make you feel in the running back room? Let me put that in here as a poll real quick. I try not to do typing while I'm on here, but I'm going to ask that as a poll so I can feel you guys. there we go. Polls up. You guys can feel free to vote in the poll. See how you guys feel about that one. I was looking at it literally going like, hold on, why does this guy remind me of Monty? Then I found out he was top 5 in missed tackles plus leading player in college for missed tackles the last few years. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy. Can we admit this? Chubb on this team and cutting Bates is the move. I mean, it could be. And I think it comes down to how confident are you in your depth. Because Ryan Bates is gonna. Ryan Poles already said he's gonna get Bates is gonna get an opportunity to come in training camp and see how he fits in, right? And I don't think that's necessarily the wrong move. I just think you gotta kind of weigh things and see how they go at that point. Hey, Haize, if we win the Super Bowl in 2027, we need to give Seth freaking Rollins a ring. What he did at the draft, banging those cheese heads. First of all, that was a goated moment. Seth Rollins coming out there that way, that was a goated moment, man. I love seeing that. Is anyone having a Josh McDaniel vibes, brilliant offense coordinator, but garbage head coach puts me a little on edge? See, I get it. And don't get me wrong, I get anyone being a little bit more pessimistic than optimistic, but I just don't get that feeling from Ben Johnson. And maybe that's going to blow up and punch me in the face, but it's not a concern I have with Ben Johnson. So leading rusher in Big Ten too, in a division where Travion and Judkins and the kid from Miami with some of the other guys, man, this is crazy. I mean, it could end up. I read something today, right when I was going over the draft grades that the Bears were given, and there were a couple of outlets that said that Monangai may be the biggest steal that the Bears got. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Chubb brings veteran leadership and will still be a goal line force. Terry Allen and AP had knee injuries and still have productive years. Good point, X. Give Seth season tickets for that. Oh, believe me, Seth Rollins probably already has season tickets. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. So it looks like the poll's been up for 2 minutes. 67% of you guys said that, yes, signing Nick Chubb would make you more confident in the Chicago Bears running back room. 33% of you guys said no. So there you go on that one. There you go on that one. But all right, guys, got to get back to it, man. Love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. We'll see y'all in the next one. Bear down, y'all. Peace.